The Lynn was founded in 1892. Its first base was at a cafe in Borough High Street in South London. The days of bare-knuckle fighting were still a recent memory, but the Lynn was formed in response to increasing enthusiasm for a more organised approach to what has been described for a century and more as the noble art of self-defence. And now women boxers are making an impression. 3 weight categories are to be included in the London Olympiad of 2012. Quite a few men within the sport have had a change of heart over the news.
When women boxing first come into place, I was very doubtful. I've got to be honest, I totally didn't agree with it whatsoever. And we had 3 girls come up here, and I know I read them the right act to try and really convince them not to do it. But as I say, they're the first up here and the last to leave, and now I've been in the championships with them. I praise it. I think it's brilliant. I think it's really good.
The club has 3 women boxers at present: Ruth Raper, Genevieve Brossard and Ellie, who is still in the junior ranks. There is a wide range of opinion about boxing. Many in the medical profession are opposed to it, but the sport has continued at both amateur and professional level. Ruth Raper says the subtleties of the sport are the key to success.
Because a lot of people think boxing is an aggressive sport, but it's not. It's all about brain, using your head. And well, if you go into the ring aggressive, then you're not going to get anywhere. You'll get knocked out.
There is no denying that this is a hard sport, amongst the toughest in terms of combat of one person against another. The idea of women in the ring fighting each other runs contrary to many common perceptions of female attributes. Genevieve Brossard grew up in New York and has been involved in boxing for 15 years.
What was hard to get used to was me hitting other people. So my offensive, me as being an aggressor, physically, that was hard. I mean, especially when I'm hitting women.
Training at the Lynn Club is demanding for all who attend. The club has a fine tradition of producing amateur champions. Their best-known boxer of modern times is Danny Williams, who turned pro in the mid-1990s and achieved fame with a knockout of the fearsome Mike Tyson in just 4 rounds. Genevieve Brossard is studying for a degree in art at Goldsmiths College, part of London University. She sees the creativity of artist and boxer as forming a common bond.
The best boxers are the most creative ones, the ones who can express themselves, I guess, in the most unexpected ways.
Recent figures show there to be almost 600 registered women boxers in Britain, compared to only 50 4 years ago. They have undoubtedly had to overcome opposition from within the sport in the past, but the Lynn Club has welcomed them.
I've been here about 6-7 months now, and maybe when I first started out 6 years ago, a lot of men didn't really want to accept you, but here they've been so welcoming. There wasn't even a second thought about whether they'd let me join, whereas a few years ago I went to some clubs and they didn't want you. But here, they're so welcoming, they just treat us like one of the guys.
The prospect of competing in the London Olympics in 2012 has transformed the horizons of women boxers.
Every girl at the moment is hoping to go to the Olympics. It's given them a long-term goal, because most girls at the moment, all they've got is short-term goals. If that, a lot of girls don't have any goals at all. So now it's been put into the Olympics. It's given a lot of girls a lot more reason to keep coming to the gym every day.
Women boxers had hopes of competing in the Beijing Olympics last year, but the International Olympic Committee decided against it. The 3 categories for the London Olympics will be flyweight, lightweight and middleweight. The news has been welcomed by the UK's Olympic Minister Tessa Jowell, describing it as historic. 120 international federations now have women boxers, a sign of increasing participation. It's in places like the Lynn Club that Olympic dreams are being nurtured. Membership here has to be earned. You can't just walk in and say you feel like joining. The trophies, plaques and newspaper cuttings are ample proof of what they've achieved over a century and more. Their trio of women boxers have shown they are worthy to carry on this tradition, with a glimpse of an Olympic podium perhaps on the horizon.